Yeah.
East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lover with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang gang. East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lover with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang gang. East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lover with the gang gang gang.
With your host, Papa Swole, of course. Your host Beesh. I'm the host Beesh of my show.
Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way.
Skirt.
You know we stay stuck right up in your face.
Yeah.
We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast, go ahead, stand up, put that glass and hands up.
Shoo, welcome everyone. It's an early Swole today, I guess. I'm like to get ahead of the game. Get ahead of the games. The games game. Come Schwan, come all. Everyone's like, oh my god, the Daily Swole's on. Oh my god. Pull up your pants, get off the toilet. Actually, you can take a shit and listen to the Swole. You can join me. I can't see you. Thank God. Yeah.
Watch me finesse, walk to the line, good versus evil. God in his prime,
Yep.
always in prime, always on time.
Yep.
Our time to shine. Wifey has fun.
Oh, you got the top fan badge? Good for you, man. I honestly have no idea how you get that. No idea. I wish I could tell people. I guess it's like how often you show up, how often you comment. It's probably all combinations of that. Yeah, everyone's badge. Look at you guys. Look at you, fam. Top fanning it up. Oh, you. I'll call you all fan-wise. Fan-wise, Game G's. Yeah. Oh, come on, people. Let's go. Come on in. Make sure you hit the like button. Like. Thumbs, hearts, share. Tag. Tag, like, share. Maybe we'll do like multiple, do different songs. Different songs. Hey, come on. Hey. You get up by participating in your life. Maybe. I guess that's what happens. Hey. Oh, come on, lazy beaches. Let's go live. Papa Swole is live. We're about to do it. It's like a little intro, right? We're in the lobby right now. We're in the lobby hanging out, having a couple drinks. Like, yeah, we're about to go into the club. We're just having a couple drinks first. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of the squad, if I see it, I cop it. Catching it early for all those of you that are on all of you that are on the West Coast. It's a little on the early side. That's cool. East Coast peeps, what up? It's almost coming up on schnoon. Hot as a ball sack in Florida. Fucking God. The sun's beating into the window. Hot as fuck. Now people are coming in. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow us some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. I don't know who that is. I don't know who J-Rock Win is. This is my boy. King Darius is my boy. It's my boy. I know him. I know this guy. Oh my God, this guy? I know this guy. Yeah, this guy. Royal genetics all up in my veins. Back me a real one and gave him my name. Yes. All of these issues, but no one to blame. Yes. Praying that God will just show me the way. Yes. Changing the gang, got the source code, and I'm off road, and my horses go skirt. One in the same day, of course. All right, we're about to get started. Yo, what up, Abdullah? What up? Faking the fame, but we all let's get this whole live party started. Come on now. Talking and saying y'all pseudo, and it's true though, y'all just popping them perks. Taking the stage, got a few shows, let the crew know it's a class in the dirt. First cardio, Papa Beesh, Papa Beesh. King Beesh, Papa Beesh. I'm changing my name from Papa Swole to Papa Beesh.
drip if I see it, I cop it. Saw
Pop
that
a
new whip
beast.
if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip if I see it, I cop it. Lots of shrimp if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid if I see it, I cop it. We at the top if I see it, I cop it. All of the squad if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip if I see it, I cop it. Lots of shrimp if I see it,
I cop it.
I'm not kidding if I see it, I cop it.
Thank you, Justin. Spank you, Spanks. Many Spanks. Spanky, spanky. Bam, bam, ba, ba, ba. Papa Swole. Get some. Touch your nips. All right, here we go. Dairy Swore 873. Dairy Swore. Miyagi say a Dairy Swore 873. 3, 2, 1.
Finish with the bullshit.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Yow. Testing. Testing, testicles. Ooh, welcome everyone to episode 873 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, Slaycast, and Taintcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. And as Miyagi say, 873 Dairy Swore. Hey, welcome to 873. Welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook, welcome Twitch, Periscope, YouTube. Welcome everyone streaming live in 1,000 places, in 1,000 colors, in 1,000 realms. Those of you that are listening on the podcast, you can't see this right. Well, no one can see this right now, but I have this massive cup of smoking hot Joe. It's delicious. I love it. It tastes amazing, and I can't wait to take my next sip. So that's what's getting me through the show. It's like, all right, you can have your coffee and enjoy your coffee if you do the Daily Swole. You do a good job. So every time I do a good job, it's like you can control the show. You float hearts, I'll take a sip. If you float enough hearts or biceps and post enough gorillas, I'll take a sip of my coffee. So you determine whether or not I am a happy person today. Ooh, that's responsibility. Sounds like responsibility. Are you willing to take it? Are you willing to accept that? Will you accept that, fam? Will you accept that responsibility? Please float some shit because I'm thirsty. Please, I see a couple gorillas. Good enough for me. Thanks, David. Delicious. So we're live everywhere. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, everyone. 873. Of course, every day the Daily Sleaze. And today we're talking about where it comes from. I got a couple things I want to hammer because, and I'll be honest, a lot of the content that I do, in some cases, you know, there's always something that I can talk about. I always have something to talk about. As you know, I only always have something to talk about 873 consecutive days. I get a lot of content shifts where like all of a sudden I'll get a bunch of messages about like one thing. And I think, you know what? Maybe this is trending in the brains and like the collective consciousness of the community, or maybe in the world, or maybe, you know, because there's evidence and there's crazy shit where there are studies that are done in other countries or with animal species where no one's in the same physical presence, but there's this mental collective consciousness where, you know, things get innovated in terms of technology. Or, for example, chimpanzees, there's like a famous studies that show certain evolutions and certain ingenuity of chimps in one area of the world stimulates that same kind of ingenuity in chimps in another area of the world. And it happens with technology, it happens with ideas. You'll see all of a sudden ideas kind of pop up over the world, or actions with animals or creatures and things. There's like this collective consciousness where one area, or it happens and there's like some kind of network, right? We're all kind of connected. We're on Earth. There's a lot of stuff that we don't understand. However, and that being said, that's a whole complex issue that I am no expert in whatsoever. And it's kind of like that foofy, I don't want to say spiritual, but there's some kind of intangible knowledge, and there's like this intangible awareness between species and, across countries and over the, around the world. Anyway, my point being, it tends to relate to what I'm talking about today, because I'll get a few questions and they all like around the same time period, and they all strike the same vein. They're all kind of around about the same topic, or the same attitude is behind the question. And it inspires a lot of these topics because I get this sense that there is a common theme for more of you. For whatever reason, this is the time to talk about this. For some reason, I get a couple of the same question in a short period of time. So that sometimes makes me like, all right, you know what? We're going to talk about this, or we need to talk about this. That's where a lot of you will message me after a show, and I get a lot of DMs and a lot of messages on Facebook and emails and stuff like, holy shit, this episode. And it's usually whenever I pick a topic that I sense that I have this feeling with. I usually get a lot of responses and personal messages saying like, oh, this episode was fire. This really was like the day. I can't believe you talked about this today because it was just perfect for me. It's exactly what I needed to hear. I always get those types of responses whenever I go with this feeling. So I'm doing it again today. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Not trying to jinx it. But I'm sure a lot of you can use this and can take something from this and take something from the theme of today. So we're about to get into it. Tyler, we are talking about intrinsic motivation in my personal training program right now. Sounds like the focus. Yeah, I really try to stay away from the word motivation because I don't like it at all. But it's hard sometimes to describe things without using the word motivation. So consciously, I use the word inspiration. I try to not use the word motivation, but it's very hard sometimes to be descriptive and say something in a way that most people will understand, because everyone really has the same kind of, people get the word motivation. People understand the word motivation, right? Yeah, it's I don't know. Motivation just really means to me. I mean, what does motivation mean to you? How about that? When you're commenting now, how would you define motivation? How would you define motivation? For me, it's more of an emotional term, right? It's a kind of thing that, oh, I feel motivated today. It's like I feel good or I feel sluggish. It's kind of like a surface emotion that comes and goes. And if it comes and goes, then, it's not what's really the foundation. It's not the most important thing to focus on. Because if it comes and goes, it's not going to be consistent. And if it comes and goes, you can't depend on it, because if it's not consistent, then it's not going to help you get results, whatever it is, especially when it's fitness. And fitness is one of those things where you have to be relentlessly consistent. You can't just do it for a couple of weeks and then take a couple of weeks off. It's not like practicing something. It's not like getting better, for example. I guess it's like anything. The more you practice it, the more consistent, the better and the faster you'll get. That just makes sense. But fitness, you're not going to get the same kind of results if you're not consistent with it overall. I guess you could practice an instrument or practice a certain skill in other realms that doesn't have to necessarily be as every single day and as. Did I say anything that woke Siri up? Did you guys hear that? All of a sudden, Siri just turned on. I thought that was Alexa. The heck was that? No, you don't come on. Alexa off. Jeez, this technology is getting ridiculous. It's starting to interrupt my show. Well, just Siri just turned on for no reason. All right, so Alexa's shut down too. So let's see. The Daily Swole is what keeps me focused and influenced on my goals through the holiday wasteland of evil temptations. My daily dose of real talk about real health. It's going to continue to be so, especially as we go forward through the holiday season. The rage is going to continue for sure. Tyler, it's my responsibility to keep it fueled with my vision and purpose. It's more of an internal drive that I have control over. It certainly is. And your discipline and your consistency is really based on what you are, I guess, focusing or fundamentally supporting your fitness journey with. So that's where we're going to start. There. Drive instead of motivation. Drive is goal-oriented. Motivation in my opinion, is only in the moment. So I guess you could think about motivation or drive or discipline as maybe like a general feeling versus specific feelings, kind of like the way in physics you'll define speed and velocity. Speed, is, let's say, distance over time, but velocity is directional, whereas speed is just a general term. So that is kind of the same concept that we'll discuss today. And really, whatever you want to use for the word, if you really love the word motivation, it's no skin off my nose. It's no gains off my biceps, honestly. I don't care. I still love making videos that say, fuck your motivation, and get in your face, because it's usually shocking to people like, fuck motivation. Motivation doesn't exist. What do you mean? What do you mean? And they'll watch the video, and then I'll catch their attention and be able to deliver some information. In this world where you're just seeing so much shit all the time, you got to have some shock value and kind of like slap people across the face. Like, you're fat. Motivation sucks. It's stupid. And everyone's like, what? Let me listen. And then I get to the real, tits and taint of it. And people can actually get the value and extract the value that I'm trying to portray. But if you like the word motivation, okay. But I don't care what you call it. You can call it happy. You can call it excited. Really, motivation for me is the same as just saying I'm excited or I'm looking forward to training. I'm looking forward to getting results. But it doesn't mean that you're going to. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any real substance just because you want to do something or just because you are inspired in the moment. Okay, that's fine. There's a common phrase, motivation gets you started, discipline keeps you going. I don't like that. That sounds way too cliche. That sounds way too cliche and way too simple. Motivation gets you started. I think having not just motivation, but I think having a real fucking reason will make you disciplined from the start. I don't think it's motivation. I think motivation can get you going, but if you don't have that real reason, that's why you crash. So discipline doesn't keep you going unless you have something that you're building that discipline on. And motivation isn't really necessarily enough if you think about it as a surface emotion. And that's what the it is. That's what this episode's about. That's what the it factor is. And today's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's kind of like that midweek. It's kind of like that lull before we have the holiday season, before you guys are going to get fucked in the eyes, ears, and in the ass with food and vacations and temptations. There's going to be a lot of that shit coming up. There's going to be a lot of that coming up over the next couple months. And it's going to be a hot mess. So everyone, and there's a bunch of people that have been coming into my private community, Swole X, that are ready to start training. I'm really getting amped up for the content that I'm doing over the next couple months, the programs that I'm writing for Swole X. I'm like really, I guess you would call it, inspired. I'm really driven. I'm really focused right now over the next couple months because this is that white space time period for fitness. It really is. There's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of ads and things like buy this for the holidays, do this, vacation here, look at this nice food and, holiday recipes for this, that, and the other. I think there's really a lot of space and open floor and open forum to really lock down and be like, why? What makes this time of year different than anything else? You're going to celebrate things and eat garbage just because you always have. It really depends on what your goal is and what you're really trying to accomplish. If you let it go, let it all hang out and just ignore shit and just fucking eat, drink, relax, okay, it's your life. You can do all of those things. There's no rule saying you have to eat specific foods. There's no rule saying you can't celebrate anything, right? You have freedom of celebrating whatever religion, whatever holiday, doing whatever you want on any day, whatever. It's your life. However, what is your goal? What are you really trying to accomplish? Is that helping you? And that's where a lot of these, again, quote, fitness professionals really kind of piss me off because there's a lot of arm around the shoulder because it's easy. It's easy to tell people that, oh, well, you can eat that if you want to, or one cookie won't kill you. Like, come on, don't be so stressed. Don't listen to all these people that are so strict. You can have that cookie. Go eat that thing. Have that. Understand that, not every one thing is going to make a huge difference. Those people that say those things. Now, I agree with that. One bad event, one bad meal isn't going to be the end. All of a sudden, boom, no results. Or, oh, you're going to have amazing. It's not going to be the determining factor of your results. However, it can lead down a different path. It can lead back to those dark areas and those dark recesses of your own, I guess, your fortitude, and your ability to stay focused, it really undermines the importance of what these foods and what these foods do to your body. It's like a fundamental lack of knowledge and education on what these cheat foods and what these bad foods do to your body. It doesn't mean that you're going to lose all your results. It doesn't mean that you're a terrible person. It doesn't mean that you're going to fail. It doesn't mean that it's going to ruin everything you've done. However, inflammation and the results from inflammation is real, and different people react in different ways. And if you really want to gross yourself out and stay healthy, and we'll do that eventually on the show, go look up inflammation. Go look up what inflammation in the intestines looks like. And you're going to see many, many pictures of all these white pustules and, pus and fucking bloating and this nasty freaking slime in the gut. Literally, the pictures are gross. It'll make you not want to eat anything bad ever again. But this is real for many people. And this is constant in most people. And to encourage people or to downplay the importance of eating the right foods or pursuing the right foods is just a fundamental lack of wanting to really tell people the truth. It's easy to put your arm around someone's shoulder and tell them it's okay and tell them to do the best they can and, do your best, and that's all you can ask for. And true, I guess that's all you can ask for. However, it's not that simple and it's not that soft. What do you want out of your fitness? What do you want out of your life? And that depending on what you want, is going to determine how much effort you have to put in. And there's usually nowadays a disconnect with what people say they want and what people do. And that's why people aren't happy and don't get results, because they're trying to accomplish these lofty goals that are out of their realm of achievement, and they're not putting in the effort to match it. So if you're matching what you want to accomplish, okay, who's to say you're wrong? If you're matching it, then you're matching it. Then you did it right, and you're doing what you want to do. You're doing what you love. You're living the way you want to live, and that's all you can ask for. However, a lot of people want, like I said, six-pack. They want to have X, Y, and Z results, but they're not doing what's going to get them those results. And that's a problem with the expectation that it will. And then they get frustrated and they have the audacity to complain about the results that they get without putting in the effort that would actually give them that change. Holly, I ate some Halo Top last night and spent the whole evening sweating my ass off in my sleep. Not worth it, my God. Ooh. Well, and sometimes you need that wake-up call. Honestly, sometimes you need that cheat food. Sometimes you need that shitty meal just to remind yourself, oh my God, this stuff is not good for me. Is it going to kill you one time? No. Is it going to put on all the weight right back? No. Is it going to get rid of your definition in one day? No. You might just have some bloating and some diarrhea or something, or shitty nights of sleep. But that's obviously, if you were sweating your ass off in your sleep all night, you didn't sleep well. And you see how that's where you're going to lose, or that's one perfect example. As we get into this topic, what Holly said about the ice cream and sweating her ass off in her sleep, this is a prime example why you can say, okay, well, this is only 300 calories or 100 calories or 400 calories, whatever that is, whatever that was, that amount. But it's going to affect you far beyond just that one meal, because you can say, oh, it's only 200 calories, it's Halo Top, it's healthy, or it's low calorie. However, you didn't sleep well, so your hormones are fucking off. You didn't recover. Your cortisol levels are now high, so all throughout the day today, you might be prone to storing more body fat. Your body's in a stressful, inflammatory state. You might not absorb nutrients as well today. You're going to be maybe sluggish and tired for your workout. You might not recover properly, or you might not perform as well as you should. Maybe you lose focus and something happens. I don't want to jinx you or anything, but this is one of those chain reactions where it's not just. That's why I say it's what you eat. It's not the quantity. If you go by the calories, you'll tend to eat shittier because you're measuring and you're adding and subtracting. And that's all well and good. However, not if you're not focusing on what you're eating first. The foods have to be correct first, and then you can worry about measuring and adding and subtracting. I'm fine if you want to count calories. If you want to micromanage your life like that, there's no problem. If you're looking for performance and specific goals, it can absolutely help, because you will be able to, okay, I need to gain some more. I'm not gaining yet. Let me add 2. You can be very scientific and very analytical and add 200 calories or 300 and really monitor it that way. However, if you're not paying attention to what those foods are to begin with, you're adding and subtracting poison. It's not good for you if you're not eating the right foods. And then you're counting calories. And a lot of people are counting calories and micromanaging their food without fundamentally eating the right foods. And they wonder why they're not losing weight fast enough, or they still have joint pain, or the skin quality sucks, so they're not sleeping well, and I'm not getting the same results that I should. I'm eating 2,000 calories a day. I'm not losing as fast because you have inflammation because you're eating the wrong shit. If you go to the food first, get that done, and then you can worry about adding and subtracting. We start counting first. It's backwards. It's just fundamentally backwards. We veterans love you, Swole bro. Hell yeah. Love the vets. America, baby. And thank you for your service, everyone who's listening. So we talked about a little bit, those of you that are just joining now, we talked a little bit about motivation, discipline, and maybe the differences in how you would define motivation, discipline. We talk a little about right now, got a question about food and inflammation. So that's kind of all part of it. And the big it and what will keep you or will separate your need for motivation or your need for defining it. I don't think you have to define it. I think that's where it can get iffy. Very easy to throw around keywords. Very easy to throw around the word motivation. Very easy to throw around discipline, dedication. It's just, they're very powerful words. These are very powerful words. However, they're just words. They're just words unless you put something behind it. Words without action doesn't mean anything. You tell someone, I really care about you, but your actions say something different. They're not going to believe you when you say that. And when you talk to yourself, when you speak to yourself, when you have that self-talk, that internal dialogue, when you have that conversation with yourself, it's very important that you have integrity with your own words. And that's where a lot of people fall short. They say things to other people that they don't mean, so that when they have their thoughts and they think these things, there's nothing behind it. They're not going to stick to it. They're not going to be glued to it because there's no integrity to begin with behind their own words, especially with their self-talk. So if you think you want something, or you say you want something, like I want to get in shape, I want to lose weight, I want to change my diet habits, you're saying this shit, I'm going to get up and go to the gym. How many times would you say that and then not do it? Because you say a lot of things or have a lot of thoughts and you don't back it up, right? Remember the classic, my word is bond. We do our deals with a handshake, young man. Shake my hand and my word is my bond. Now we have to have contracts and legal shit and everything. Back in the day, it was like you fucking shook your hand. That was it. That was the deal. The deal was struck and boom, it's like ironclad, right? You probably still have dudes today that are like, just a handshake. That's all we need. You shake my hand, you touch my palm skin, and we're good. And that's what you need with yourself. You need your word to be bond. You need your word to be ironclad. You need to be able to say something to yourself. And there's no wavering. And there's no if, and, or whatever. That's the way it is. It's like what I did with the show every single day. I decided to do a daily show before I did the first episode because I would be doing it every fucking day. I'd be doing it every day, no matter what. And I held myself to that standard and I continued to do so. And it's almost like someone else is demanding that I get it done. Someone else is demanding that I do it, but it's really just me demanding it of myself. I'm being accountable to myself. So the words that you use, we float them around. Getting back to the main point, the words that we use are very, very powerful. However, we don't give them the respect they deserve. We just say a lot of shit. We say a lot of shit in our culture. We say a lot of shit in our society. We say a lot of shit to other people. We post a lot of shit. We use a lot of words without having the actual stones behind it to back it up. There's not enough meaning. We don't have enough meaning with our words. And that goes and affects other people, but it also affects ourselves when we have these thoughts and we use these words in our brain. That same connection is lost. Okay? So who is driving you? What's your driving factor? You can call it motivation if you want to, call it inspiration, call it your why, whatever that is. I prefer why. I prefer that base reason, right? Is it coming from family? Is it coming from friends, your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend? Is it coming from coworkers? Are you looking at people on social media? You're looking at celebrities. Is it coming from yourself? Now, this can be that intrinsic motivation that I forget who it was mentioned it earlier. Intrinsic motivation, or coming from within yourself, is extremely important. It's the most important reason. You're more likely to do something and to follow through with it if you're doing it for the right reasons, if you're doing it for you. Because doing it for someone else is the same thing as like being motivated and not feeling like it and then falling off. Because if you're doing it for someone else, or you feel forced to, if you feel like you're backed into a corner, if you're trying to appease someone else, you're more likely to kind of skirt the issue. You're more likely to avoid the personal responsibility of getting it done. You're more likely to avoid that personal responsibility because it's not coming from you personally. And personal responsibility is a huge part of where you are and where you're going. Do you accept what you've done to yourself, being overweight or being skinny or not being where you want, whatever it is, with business, with life, with fitness? You're not where you want to be because of you, not because of anyone else. Sure, life happens and some people have a shit end of the stick and have a lot more challenges, but it's because of you. In other words, you're going to get, if you're in a bad situation, you're the one that has to get yourself out of it. If you're in a good situation, okay, you maybe put yourself there, but you still have to execute and move forward. So it's your responsibility it was your responsibility that got you in to that predicament or this current situation. And more importantly, it's your responsibility to get out. So taking that responsibility and realizing it's on me. It's my choice. It's my actions. It's what I do from this point forward. It's all relative. It's subjective. Whether or not you think you're successful is in your brain. We're not measuring this. We're not measuring this, in society. I'm not comparing you. Like, we're not comparing how much money everyone has. We're not comparing how much your car is worth. We're not talking about anything else but how you are measuring your own success, how you are measuring your own health. That's very, very subjective. Bottom line, where are you now? Taking responsibility for the fact that you are where you are, and it's up to you and only you moving forward. So what do you want? What do you want? And you can put that in the comments. Don't be shy. I mean, those of you that are on Facebook, lay it down. What are you trying to achieve? What's your vision? What's your end game with your training? Why are you approaching this now? Why are you taking responsibility? What do you want to happen? Doesn't have to be fucking going to Mars. It doesn't have to be some exceptionally ridiculous, excessive goal. It could be something very simple and basic, just like, I want to be healthier. And then you can get specific with the subsects of that. But what is your purpose for training? What do you want the outcome to be? It's about knowing what you want the outcome to be and then working backwards and then figuring out the architecture of what you have to do daily in order to achieve that. Some of you are going to have very lofty goals. You're going to have a very aggressive vision, which is, by all means, it's amazing. The more lofty, the more aggressive, it's going to come down to, what are you doing? What are you doing to achieve it? What are you doing to get there? You can say it all you want, but what are you going to do now? How are you going to rewind? You go to that endpoint, cool. Let's say you're there, theoretically. Now back off. What do you have to do every year, month, week, and day to make that happen? Reverse engineer what you want and then what you have to do and the steps you have to take to get there. I don't want to be old and feeble. Daniel, awesome. Phil Faction on Instagram. I want to lose weight, look good, and still build muscle. Had enough of being a big dude, Richard. Nice. I haven't had enough of being a big dude. I want to get bigger. I want to get bigger. No, I don't really want to get bigger. I know what you mean. Good. It's nice to have that moment, that epiphany moment where it's like, fuck this. I'm done. Fuck this. I'm ready to change. I want to tone and tighten, have a nice butt. Sweet. Jennifer, I was working 2 jobs, 17-hour days, fell off the wagon for a month and a half, for those of you that don't understand the HAEF language. I love saying HAEF. month and a half, my health suffered greatly. So I quit one job so I get back on track. I remember you saying that. This is my first week back on track, and it's not easy, but I keep pushing through and taking responsibility for what I have done to my body. I want to be healthy and comfortable in my own skin. Fabulous, dear. Excellent. Wonderful. Health mostly, but a great side effect, looking good and feeling awesome. Vince, cheers. And have good sex with my wife. That was an addition from Daniel. I want to be old and feeble and have good sex with my wife. Good. Excellent. And fitness will do that for show. Becca B, I started trying to lose weight because of my MS diagnosis. I lost mobility for 2 months, and it's hard to move with extra weight when your body doesn't work like you want it to. Yeah. Making that commitment, knowing what you want and knowing why you're doing it. Those are really two major pillars, how to get started. It's always better if you're doing it for yourself. However, some people are very inspired and really driven when you're doing it for someone. You're trying to prove something to other people or something to someone else. And that can be a very powerful factor. And I don't want to say it's wrong. There's really no wrong way to do it. There's really no wrong way to do it. You can do it for someone else. You sure can. You can really push yourself and just never rest and just be fucking relentless and relentless and relentless in order to prove someone wrong or in order to do something for someone else. And when it comes to health, fuck it, who you do it for, it's going to be for you, bottom line. You're the one that's going to be healthy. You can work out really hard and get healthier. It's not going to change anyone else's health. So you're doing that's doing it for you. However, when you're doing it for you, you're also doing it for other people because you're going to inspire others. And I'm sure a lot of you are doing that. You're eating healthier at work or around family or friends, and they're seeing it and they're probably asking you questions, or they're probably getting on board or working out with you, or that you're inspiring them to work out. So if that's the case, if you've done that already and people have been changing, if people have been changing their habits because of you, drop in the comments too. That's extremely powerful. So doing it for you, doing it for other people, but the main reason, like why you're going to put in all this effort, because it's your responsibility, like we just discussed. You need to do it. It's on you. So you're doing it for you. But it's going to spread. It's going to be like a virus. It's going to be contagious. It's going to be contagious. Freezing in Wyoming, only 34 this morning when I woke up. I'm dripping with sweat, by the way. Those of you that are kind of getting chilly, I'm literally like dripping. You can't see like the sweat. I'm dripping right now because I had to close the window and it's a little bit before noon. So the sun is still coming in through this window. It's so hot. I'm literally sweating. I'm sitting on the ball right now. It's just like the back of my thighs are just, I'm drenched. Had to turn off the air conditioning and stuff. Otherwise the audio would be crap. I just sweat during this show. I can't wait for fucking winter. I can't wait for it to chill off a little bit. Summers in Florida are just absolutely, it's like a wet ball sack. Rami, healthy lifestyle actions for my daughter to witness. My actions can rub off on her to make good decisions. Health commitment in general makes for a better life. Hell yeah. 50 degrees here. Nips are hard. No doubt. 55 here in Joplin, Missouri. I'm jealous. You're all jealous. I'm like literally drenched. I don't mind the weather. I just like to be cooler. I wish the AC was quiet so I can have it running. Oh well, my next place I'll get like a more quiet system so I could actually not sweat my balls off when I do content. The next part of what I want to discuss today was your time frame. Okay, so if you have your why, your reason for doing it, who you're doing it for, and you understand what it takes and the reasons and the foundation you have to build and the integrity you need with your own words for your self-talk, what your time frame is. Most people drastically undercut what their time frame should be, how quickly they're trying to achieve their goals. And time is a very interesting thing. It's the one thing we can't get back. And it's one of the things that's not the most important factor when it comes to results. It usually becomes the primary because it's something you can quantify. You can say, hey, I want to get results in 30 days or get results in 6 months, or, I lost this much in 4 months or 90 days. There are it's very easy to throw around, I guess, endpoints with when it comes to dates, numbers. Remember how we get obsessed with counting calories, adding and subtracting? However, that can have its negative effects, and counting is not the most important thing, and counting calories and the number of calories is not the number one thing. It's what those foods are to begin with. And then you can concern yourself with the number of calories, because the first part is going to solve a lot of the second part. When you're eating better food, you're going to be less likely to overeat. You're going to reset your hormone balance and everything, and your taste buds and everything's going to reset a lot better. So you'll make better decisions. You're less likely to overeat. So it's primary, plus the inflammation, all those things. But your time frame for getting results, that's usually drastically misinterpreted. Most people are really using short time frames when you're not going to be living for just 3 more months. I don't think so. If you say everything's like, okay, I want to do this in 90 days, or you have this for, like I said, transformation 6 week, it's very easy to go online and go on Instagram and stuff and look up transformations. And usually it's these like drastic weight loss, drastic overhauls in a short period of time, which makes it amazing. And it's not the average. However, your time frame is your life. It doesn't mean you have to back off. It's good to have a time. It's good to have a time. What's a great word? It's good to have a time restricted goal in order to light that fire under your ass so you're aggressive. However, your overall goal is to be healthy and vibrant for the rest of your life. So that has to be in perspective. And a lot of people forget that they're going to be alive for 60 more years, and they're focused on trying to shed weight fast. Like, I'm trying to lose 10 pounds in 8 weeks. Is that possible? I mean, fuck, anything's possible. I mean, that's completely realistic, but you don't have to pressure yourself into like, if I don't make that happen, I'm going to fail. A lot of people want to lose 10 pounds before they go on a cruise, or I'm getting married, let me lose weight. Like, I get that. And that could be a catalyst, but it's just it's kind of like a bullshit goal. Okay, you're getting married, so now you don't want to be fucking sick and unhealthy. You need that moment, that day. Don't trick yourself. If you're trying to lose weight for your wedding, you just want to look good in some fucking pictures. What, are you going to let it all hang out and let it all go right after you get married? Probably. You're just going to do this extreme shit so you look good in your dress. So I fit my wedding dress. That's the wrong reason. I'm not saying it's not a reason. I'm not saying most people fucking do it. They're trying to like, get fit for the wedding, sweating for the wedding. It's a shitty reason. Losing weight to go on vacation is a shitty reason. Losing weight to go on a cruise is a shitty reason. Losing weight for a wedding is a shitty reason. It's still a reason and people will use it, but it's not, you're not going to get wet. You're not going to get married every year. Not getting married every couple years, most people. So what's going to happen afterwards? What's your reason afterwards? You don't need something drastic like that. You don't need a drastic life change like that to be healthy. And that time frame can always be, you can always make an aggressive time frame, but if it's with the right reasons, you don't need something, a huge event like that. You don't need a vacation or a wedding to get in shape. You're going to make it a part of your life all the time. And then you don't have to have those, I got to lose weight for this, I got to get in shape for that. You're already doing it and you're already in that mode. And then you could do whatever the hell you want because that's part of your life. Nice, Rhett. Good luck, man. Good luck, good luck. Good luck, fam, on your competition. And that being said, to start, because many of you are probably starting or just kind of getting underway or in the middle of your journey, let's get something clear. Because I'm a big time asshole in many respects. And I don't really think, I don't want to say asshole, but I do it on purpose. That's who I am in many ways. But hard hitting, no bullshit. Swolenormous, fitness without the bullshit. That's my fucking thing. So I'll tell you the way it is as I see it. You may or may not disagree, but I won't sugarcoat things. And that's why you're here, because I'll tell you my experience. I'll tell you what fucking works, again, in my experience and from my education. And I'm not going to make shit up that just isn't true. I'm not going to tell you what I think you want to hear. I will tell you what I think you need to hear, or what you should hear, at least from me, or what could help you. And the truth will always win. The truth will always help you the most. And a lot of times when people get upset at what I say, it's because they don't want to admit the truth. It's how they're digesting the truth. And sometimes it seems extra harsh because everywhere you get muffled and you get soft, you get silenced. It's like getting shot with it's like shooting a gun with a silencer. You get muffled. Everything's a cushioned blow. Everything's politically correct. Everything's softened. Everything's trying not to hurt your feelings. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I will hurt your feelings, but it's not my fault, right? I will risk hurting your feelings to tell you the truth. Whether or not it hurts your feelings is on you, right? That being laid out, your mentality with where you are right now, if you're struggling, if you're frustrated, if you're disgusted by being overweight, you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, fuck, I look like crap, I'm unattractive, or you're skinny and you're trying to build muscle and you just feel like you're fucking skinny and you're not gaining fast enough. I want to make it clear that no matter how I come across, and really what I say, you are not a shitty person. Who am I talking? What am I talking about? Maybe you are a shitty person. What do I know? I don't know you. I'm just fucking with you. Maybe. No, you're not a shitty person. You're not a shitty person for being overweight. You're not a shitty person for being skinny. You're not a shitty person for not having what you want. It's fine to not have what you want. Most people don't have what they want. Or most people haven't found what they're looking for. Most people haven't found what they want, period. And not just like they haven't found what they want, they don't know what they want, so they don't even know what direction to go. They don't even know how to get it. I didn't know I wanted to do this. I didn't know that this was, an answer for me. I didn't know this is something I would be passionate about. I've always had a passion for fitness. I wasn't satisfied just doing personal training. I wasn't satisfied doing everything I was doing up to this point. This is extremely consuming and satisfying. And even though I am fucking working round the clock on this stuff all the time, I'm in the front of this fucking computer all the time, I'm doing shit like this all the time, desperately trying to balance it out with my own health, my own training, and blah, blah, blah. Not a sob story, but it's exciting and liberating to know what I want to do, to know what I want to accomplish, to know that what I'm doing when I wake up every day is something that is mine, is something that I'm passionate about, and that I'm helping people. A lot of people don't even know what they want, so they feel lost. But you're not a shitty person if you don't have your results yet. You're not. You're not. This is supposed to be an encouraging section of this podcast. The personal responsibility is not supposed to make you feel like, fuck, I'm an asshole. It's supposed to make you feel empowered. So whether or not you're listening to this and you're 500 pounds or you're 130 pounds, it doesn't matter what part of the spectrum you're on, taking responsibility for where you are is also taking responsibility for where you're going. And that means that you have control. Taking responsibility when you're overweight, like I'm fucking obese. I'm severely, morbidly obese. I gotta fucking change things. Or I'm 100 pounds overweight, or I'm 50 pounds overweight. I haven't worked out in 20 years. I gotta fucking do this. It's empowering. It should be a positive. If you look at it as a negative, it'll be a negative. But it's not. It means, you know what? I did this to myself. I've been a lazy fuck no more. The great thing is it's in your control. The great thing is it is your choice whether or not to stay in your situation or to work your ass off to get out of it. And that's a good thing. It's not like you're sitting there, shit, you know what? He's right. This fucking bearded asshole's right. I am overweight. Fuck, I am this. I am that. And then to be there helpless, like, oh, fuck, well, I guess I'm just this now. Fuck, man. He's right. Shit. And then you go on with your life miserable. Like, no, that's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'll tell you the truth and I'll slap you across the fucking face so that you have this epiphany and you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I am the one in control. All I can do with this podcast, whether you're listening or watching, the only thing I can do is use my words and this content, the videos that I do, everything that I put out in text and captions and all in the podcast, all I can do is try to shake you out of this lulled state. All I can do is get you to that point, hopefully, where you're like, holy fuck, he's right. It's on me. And then when you realize, truly realize, and that's where that responsibility comes into play, when you really, really realize that it's my responsibility to make those changes and no one else and nothing else is going to do it except me, no matter what program, no matter what nutrition, no matter what supermarket, no matter what video, you still have to execute on it. Once you realize that you are the one that has to do it, you also realize that you're the only one that can do it. And that's not a shitty situation. That's completely the opposite. That's 100% positive. That's 100% empowering. That is 100,000% the way you want to feel. Because then you realize, fuck, I'm the only one that can do it, which means I'm the only one that's able to do it, which means I have to do it. I can't do it for you. I can provide all the content in the world. I had Swole Enormous X, my programs and nutrition, and I can post any video I want. You can go on YouTube all day and look up shit. You still have to put in the work. So it's still going to come down to you. And when you realize it's up to you, then the doors open and then all of a sudden, boom, all bets are off and you can fucking hit the ground running. But it's very important that you realize you're not a shitty person, taking responsibility for being fat, taking responsibility for not having the results. All that means is all it is the realization that you got yourself there, whether actively or passively, and now you're the one that has the power to get out and has the power to make that change. And then whatever happens after that, that's okay. That's still, again, your responsibility. It's on you. So you're not a shitty person, but what do you want? If you want to lose weight, cool. Now what? I want to lose weight. I'm sick and tired of this gut. Okay. Now what? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What does anyone do about it? You start learning. You start fucking doing something. You start looking shit up. I mean, hell, you're in the right place. I give you tons of information every day on how to get started and how to, tweak things. You got tools out there. You have your phone. You have time. Everyone's got enough time to put in the research in order to get things done. Start a program, start a diet plan, do something. I just encourage everyone to do it the right way and start from the right standpoint. But that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to slap you out of that lull, slap you out of that sleepy state, wake you up. That's all I can do. But you have that power, you have that responsibility, and you have that ability, which is it's a very positive message. Take it as a positive message, but do something about it because you're the only one that can. And the change that comes from that is something that doesn't have to take time. Famous quote, change doesn't take time, it takes commitment. You can change today. You can change right now. You can make that decision. I am not going to do something a certain way anymore, and then boom, you stop. It takes time if you're not really committed to it. It takes time if you're not really disciplined. It takes time if you allow it to take a lot of time. It doesn't have to take a lot of time if you just fucking get up and start changing your habits all of a sudden, boom. But not everyone can do it like that. There's going to be some rocky roads, there's going to be some transition periods, but change takes commitment. And if you're willing to do it, you can start immediately. Immediately. What's most important to you? What do you want? How bad do you want it? You've heard all those. There's so much of this in our culture in terms of cliches that we write them off. Again, it's the integrity behind the words. What do these cliches mean? We hear them so much in movies and social media and stuff that we ignore them. However, it doesn't make them less true. It doesn't make that less of a fact. It doesn't make them less powerful. I guess it does. Well, I guess it does make it less powerful because it doesn't have that same integrity behind it. But if you take it for what it literally says and you actually give it that power, you realize, fuck, it doesn't take time. It takes commitment. Am I ready to fucking make that change now? And then it's one thing to say it and another thing to do it. So it comes again. Then what? Now what? What now? You said you want to lose weight. Cool. Well, fucking now what? What you gonna do? Now what? Okay. You're sick and tired of being fat? Cool. Great. Awesome. You taking responsibility? Great. Now what are you going to do? You got to fucking step up. You got to step up because you're the only one that can step up. So you have to. It's very, there's a lot of temptations out there. You can use that word too, a lot of temptations, but there's only temptations if you don't have that personal resolve, if you do not have everything we just talked about already. So I do want to touch on temptation, but only touch on it to the point where if you don't have this proper framework, if you don't have your right vision, your why, if you don't really know what you're doing it for, who you're doing it for, what you really want, if you don't have that right time frame, the mindset, if you're not focusing on it and taking control, then you're going to be subject to a lot of these temptations. You're going to be more at risk because you don't have that strong foundation. When you really have that strong resolve and you know all your reasons and you're doing it for the right reasons and you know it's in your control and your power, you'll be able to resist those temptations. It won't be temptations. They're only temptations when you have holes in your game, holes in your foundation. You got holes in your boat. You're leaking water. Okay. And you're not going to see a lot of progress, obviously, if you're leaking water and you're trying to shovel it out all the time. It's like, why not plug the fucking hole rather than keep on shoveling or pumping out water? You got to plug the holes, right? Plug the holes and you make your whole shit a lot easier. You make it float. You make your float. You make your shit float. Get it? Get it? See what I did there? See? Yeah, whatever. There's, let's see, I have a note here, something else I want to talk about. We kind of touched upon it again already. We kind of touched upon it with the social media jabronis, people putting their arm around your shoulder. It all comes down to what's affecting you. You're an individual person. Do not believe the hype that you can get away with all these cheat meals and snack foods and artificial things. It does make a big difference. Now, it's going to affect different people differently. You're an individual, so it doesn't mean that you can eat whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you should be just going after calorie counting. It doesn't mean that you can get away with cookies after workouts. Not everyone can do what everyone does. Some people are more resilient. Some people have more of an inflammatory reaction. Some people, everyone's different. Everyone's different. There are people that never smoke and get lung cancer. There are people that smoke their entire lives or there are people that don't smoke and get lung cancer. There are people that smoke their entire lives and never get lung cancer. And I'm not saying that one person's right or wrong, but we don't have all the answers when it comes to nutrition. But what I can tell you is fake food is fucking fake food. And most of these issues with gluten, with dairy, with processed carbs, they cause inflammation. They're not good for you. They will negatively affect your health. It's very, very evident. There is no debate about it. It's going to affect your health. If you have a little bit once in a while, obviously not going to affect your health as much. Some people have more violent reactions than others. That's why the elimination diet's so important, because it will show you how sensitive you are to these nutrients, and then adaptation won't skew your view of it. You won't be tricked anymore. You'll be more in touch with your body, how your body physically reacts. Feeling the difference when eating certain foods is extremely important. Personally, me just telling you, oh, dairy's not good for you, or processed dairy's not good for you, processed carbs aren't good for you, gluten's not good for you, you shouldn't have that, you're going to have inflammation. You just listening to that and then just cutting it out, you're more likely to cheat. The elimination and feeling it, it's one thing for people to say, and you read it everywhere, like, oh, this is bad. Yeah, but once in a while, cheat meal. When you go on a strict elimination, you fucking listen to me. Everyone that's listening to me, you fucking open up your ears extra wide. You go on an inflammation or an anti-inflammatory diet for several weeks. You go on an elimination diet for several weeks. You cut out all these things that are chronically inflammatory to most people, and you test them one at a time. When you do this properly and you eat something and you fucking feel it, you get a migraine for the first time in weeks because you ate that food, and when you fucking know that it's because of that one food, when you have bloating because you tested dairy again, and that's the only thing you change, and you had that, and you're on the toilet with diarrhea, and you have a headache, and holy shit, and you can feel it, and it's visceral, and you feel it in your fucking gut, you feel it in your head. And I'm not saying everyone has the same feeling, but when you can physically, you'll remember that. And it's much different than someone saying, oh, you shouldn't have that. It's like someone taking away your favorite toy when you're a kid. Oh, but I want to play with it. It's like, no, you can't. Why? Because I said so, right? That's what parents say. It's because I said so. That's like me. You can't have bread. You shouldn't be eating bread or pasta. Why not? Because I said so. It's not good for you. Meh. You're like, okay, and you get away from it and you have those cravings. You have those cravings and you want to cheat. You want to eat it. It's not a good reason. That's why I don't try to just give you fish. I want to teach you how to fish. I want to teach you about your body so you can really make it yours, so you can feel better yourself, so you can customize and individualize. That's why I don't push specific diet plans, because there is no specific diet plan that works for everyone. So I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and be like, oh, eat 1 cup of this and 3 ounces of this. It's fucking bullshit. Any trainer that does that is on a very, very fundamental level doing their clients or doing their people a disservice. They are, because you cannot prescribe or give someone a diet plan that's going to be for them. You cannot customize it unless they customize it themselves, unless they're going through, let's say, genetic testing, and they're doing these profiles that see what gene sequences are really reacting best to certain proteins and fat combinations, X, Y, and Z, the new shit that we're learning now, plus an elimination, actually testing and seeing what works. Yeah, it takes time and effort, but that's how it's supposed to be done. But when you feel the difference, when you actually do something like that and you feel sick and you can relate to it and you remember it and you're actually experiencing it, that is what's powerful. That's extremely powerful. And it's so much different than me just telling you, don't eat that, it's not good for you. Okay. It's like I took away your favorite toy. But if you do this and you feel the difference, you know I'm not fucking around, you know this is real, and you learn that connection with the food in your body because you're feeling it. You're on the toilet shitting your brains out and you know, and you're like, oh my God, I can feel them. You ate something, you know exactly what it was. You pinpointed it and you're having the reaction, boom, A plus B equals fucking C. In this case, C is shit in the toilet. And you feel like crap. Do you think you are more likely or less likely in this fake example, that's very real for a lot of people, more likely or less likely to have dairy again? How soon do you think you're going to be like, oh, let me have another one of those? I know I had a migraine all day and I shit my brains out, but yeah, I'll fucking have it. What the hell? You're going to avoid it like the plague. You're going to lose your taste for it. You're not going to desire it. You're going to miss it, quote unquote, but more of the memory of it before you actually did the elimination, resensitized your body to it. You're not going to have it anymore, because unless you want, but then you're educated. If you want to eat that and you know, if I'm going to have that, I'm going to have a shitty fucking day, night, and the next day is going to feel sluggish too. Then it's your decision. Then you're a grown-ass man or woman, and then you make your decision. Just like she was saying earlier about the Halo Top ice cream, she was sweating all fucking night. She felt like crap. I doubt she's going to be eagerly looking forward to another pint of Halo Top as a result of that. I doubt it. And not everyone's going to react the same way, but in her case, because she figured it out, that is something to avoid, is it not? It's common sense. It's common sense, but you have to have the desire and the interest in your body to fucking pursue it like that, because that's what you need to do. You need to take stock in your body. You need to care about the fucking outcome. Just because you can chew it and swallow it doesn't mean it should be going in your fucking mouth. You can't be putting everything in your mouth. You don't put dirty dicks in your mouth. Remember that post I did? Don't put dirty dicks in your mouth. Don't. Keep the dirty dicks out. Clean dick only. If you only learned one thing out of 873 episodes, no dirty dicks in your mouth. No dirty dicks. Papa Swole says so. All right? Clean dick only. And clean puss. I gotta be PC, right? Clean dick, clean puss. End of story. No debate. So I'm not going to give you an arm around the shoulder. I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it and as I experience it. You know, you can make any decision you want. Grown-ass man, grown-ass woman, you can do whatever you want. All I can do is say words to a screen, to people that are watching. All I can do is provide this kind of like, shake it up. It's your responsibility. It's up to you. What do you want and what are you going to do about it? Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for episode 873 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gaincast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and Sleazecast, and Taintcast. In the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. I shall see everyone everywhere at Swolenormous. Follow me, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. Just go to swolenormousx.com and click on podcast from the main menu. You'll see the list of apps you can subscribe, and I'll see you around the bend, fam, and tomorrow, of course, for 874. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce Magoose. Good episode today. Like, share, pass this around, because a lot of people in your circle need to fucking hear this. I think it's the right time. I think it's the right day for this message, and I hope you got a lot of value from today's episode. But I'll see you tomorrow, fam. Peace, McGee's. Deuce Magoose. Papa Swolio. Out. Later.